Yo, 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 what's going on, guys? Joey Sugarmock is back here with another video for you guys. And today, guys, it is Saturday night, and I'm going to be giving you my game picks for Week 6 of the 2021 NFL season. So let's jump right on into it, guys. Coming up with another London game. So this is at 9:30 Eastern Time. We have the 1-4 Dolphins at the 0-5 Jaguars. So the Dolphins, I was totally wrong about. They are awful. I mean, they got that one win against the Patriots. Besides that, they're trash. No offense. Defense is not playing remotely as well as I thought it would be. Yeah, this year's not their year. I was totally wrong. I mean, yes, they've had injuries, but every team has injuries. Shockingly, Will Fuller's on IR. I mean, the poor guy just can't stay healthy. He's good when healthy, but the problem is he's almost never healthy. It's my understanding that Tua Tagovailoa is back, but is that really that big? Is he really that big of an upgrade over Jacoby Brissett? I'm not so sure. I mean, he's young, so he definitely has potential, but he has shown really no signs of that for so far. He has really not been he has not been very good. But on the Jaguars, they're even worse. I mean, first off, they're 0-5. They're coming off a loss to the Titans. Only I will say, I mean, not all of their games have been blowouts. That game against the Bengals, where they were about to be up 21-0, but got stuffed, and the Bengals ended up coming back to win that game, but it was close. But I still don't think the Jaguars are not good at all. Trevor Lawrence definitely has been a disappointment so far. I don't know how much of it is his fault and how much of it is just on the terrible team around him, bad coaching, and of course the horrendous Jaguars defense. But he clearly is not having a great rookie year. And again, I think you could say it's in Jacksonville. I think the Jaguars are the quote-unquote home team, but again, it's in London, so both teams are on the road. I'm going to take the Jaguars here. I actually think that they're going to get their first win just because for the fun of it. This is not a game that's overly important, but I'm going to go with the Jaguars here, guys. 27-20. All right, next game, guys. This is our first 1 o'clock game of the week. We have the 2-3 Chiefs at the 2-3 football team. So both teams have been disappointments so far, especially the Chiefs. They just got rolled by the Bills at home last Sunday. That was I think the Bills only won by 18, but it felt like more. They dominated. Chiefs, what is happening? I mean, their offense has not been bad, but it hasn't been quite as good as it usually is, and their defense has just been awful. It's been probably the worst defense in the league. It has been atrocious. I don't know what's going on, but their defense is just not good at all. And it's never been great, but I kind of feel like every year it was getting a smidge better. This year it has gone completely the opposite way. It's been awful. So, with that being said, not good for the Chiefs. And then the football team, who, as I have mentioned before, I think they have a very overhyped defense. Their defense has been trash, absolute trash so far. So we could be in for a shootout here, but I don't trust the football team's offense. I kind of like Taylor Heinicke, but he too is not the. As far as I know, Heinicke's still the starter. Yeah, he does not look like he's the answer. So they have no quarterback. Their line is besides Brandon Scherf. Receivers, I mean Terry McLaurin, he is a stud. But their offense is still not that good. They have no quarterback, and that's a serious issue. And yeah, their defense just not playing up to expectations at all. I think the Chiefs are going to get this win. They're going to be ticked after losing to the Bills last week. I trust their offense way more than the football team's offense. So I'm going to go with the Chiefs here, guys, 34-20. Next game, guys, we have the 4-1 Rams at the 1-4 Giants. Rams rolling 4-1. They look great. Giants have been garbage. I mean, I don't know. Another team that it was likely wrong about. I was kind of hyping the Giants up. I thought they would be like a solid wild card contender. Definitely doesn't look that way. I mean, Daniel Jones is trash. Their defense is decent, but I think part of the issue is it's on the field for too long, so it gets tired. And then, of course, Saquon Barkley, I don't know if it's a season-ending injury, but he's out for a while. The poor guy just cannot stay healthy. So no Saquon Barkley. And then offensively for the Giants, I mean, they got, they drafted Kadarius Toney, but I think Kenny Golladay is hurt because he too has a hard time staying healthy. So a lot of their weapons are hurt. I don't know how Sterling Shepard's doing, but Giants are not in a good spot right now. Rams, though, are doing pretty well. I mean, they lost to the Cardinals, but besides that, their offense looks good. Their defense has been up and down, but it's definitely been good enough. It's in New York. I don't think it'll make that big of a difference. I trust the Rams way more than the Giants. I'm gonna go with the Rams here, guys. 41-17. I don't think it'll be very close. I think Stafford will pop off. Next game, guys, we have the 1-4 Texans at the 1-4 Colts. This is in AFC South showdown, I want to say. So both teams, I mean, not good. The Texans are garbage as expected. They actually kind of got off to a half-decent start of the year, but they're not good. Quarterback, I mean, they just choked to the Patriots last week. I think they were up by like 2 touchdowns at one point, choked, and the Patriots ended up winning that game. So, believe it or not, we're coming off the two choke artists are going at it. Colts, man, epic choke to the Ravens last week. I really thought that the Colts were going to go into Baltimore and win that game, and it was looking like they were going to beat us by a lot, but Lamar Jackson, man, again, more hype on the Ravens when we get to their game. But regardless, the Colts choking last week, the Texans choking last week. So again, the battle of the choke artists. Believe it or not, both of these teams are not the Falcons. Can you believe it? Anyways, it's in Indianapolis. Again, not a game anybody really cares about. I guess I'll go with the Colts. I think they're going to be really motivated after somehow choking that game to the Ravens last week. So I'm going to go with the Colts here, guys. 24-17. Next game, guys, we have the 3-2 Bengals at the 0-5 Lions. So, Bengals, man, 3-2. That's another team where I might have to start changing my opinion. I thought they were kind of a fluke. I didn't really think they were that good. I thought the Packers would kind of smack them. They didn't. And of course, the ending to the game last week was just crazy. I think it was 6 missed field goals in the fourth quarter and overtime, or maybe even just overtime. I don't know what was happening. The weather wasn't bad. The sun was out. I don't know if it was windy or not, but the weather should not have been that big of a factor. But 6, I think it was, missed field goals in overtime last week. 6. How does that happen? This is by both teams, but how does that happen? So it was a joke that, literally both teams, they didn't really want to win. They weren't that interested. And you do wonder, because how does that even happen? So the Bengals easily could have won that game. They ended up losing after multiple missed opportunities from both teams. But hey, I expected it to be a blowout. It wasn't. The Bengals gave the Packers some real competition. Their offense looks pretty good. And their defense, it's up and down. But I really like that defensive front. They got Sam Hubbard, Trey Hendrickson, and what's his name? DJ Reader, who's a solid run stuffer. So yeah, the Bengals, their defense has pieces. Their secondary is not very good. And then linebackers, they don't have Nick Vigil anymore, I think. They have that Evans dude, maybe. And then as far as I know, Geno Atkins retired. But their secondary in general is not that good, besides Jesse Bates, obviously. Lions, so 0-5. They're a little scrappy. Fair amount of their losses have been close games. I mean, they were about to beat the Ravens, but choked. They had a nice little comeback against the Niners in week 1, fell short. So, I mean, the Lions aren't getting obliterated by every team, but they're not good. I mean, they're 0-5. But I do think the Lions could be a decent team for the future. I think Dan Campbell's actually a pretty solid coach. I don't think he's great, but I think he's a big-time upgrade. I mean, anyone is an upgrade over Matt Patricia, but I think Campbell is a significant upgrade. So I think for the future, the Lions could be good if they clean up issues in the offseason. I don't know if Goff is going to be the answer, though, but the Lions could be a decent team for the future. Not going to be this year, though. I think the Bengals will get this win. They are going to be ticked after somehow losing to the Packers last week. I'm going to go with Cincinnati here, guys. 34-17. I think their offense will have a very big day. Next game, guys, we have the 4-1 Packers at the 3-2 Bears. So this is kind of cause and effect. Packers coming off that wild win against the Bengals last week after all of the missed field goals. And then the Bears, they're kind of rebounding a little bit. Let's see, they kind of just upset the Raiders last week. And of course, I know many of you know that significant Raiders development. When the Raiders play, I'm pretty sure they play this week. Regardless, yeah, they do. So I'll talk more about that in a second. But regardless, Bears coming off a nice win. They went into Las Vegas and stunned the Raiders. Their defense played very, very well. Offense wasn't great as usual, but it got the job done, and they walked away with the win. So the Bears coming off a nice win, and on the road too, which is unusual. They're usually not good on the road. And then Packers, meanwhile, of course, got that win. So ever since the Week 1 massacre to the Saints, the Packers have rebounded very well. Offense is looking, not not 2020 levels because, that just doesn't really happen. But their offense is looking a lot better now after that week 1 struggle. So, it's in Chicago. The Bears and the Packers, it varies with them. Sometimes it's really close. Sometimes it's a blowout. I could see this game being decently close. The Bears' defense isn't bad. Actually, it's pretty good. It's not quite as good as it used to be, but it's still solid. It's also in Chicago. The Bears are significantly better at home, but I'm still going to go with the Packers. I could see this again. I could see this game being close, but I don't trust the Bears. I don't trust their offense. I mean, I don't even know. Is it still Justin Fields who's playing quarterback? I guess it is, but he's a rookie, and I'm not going to take him over Aaron Rodgers. So I'm going to go with the Packers here, guys. 31-24. Next game, guys. Oh, here we go. Perhaps the game of the week. We'll see. 4-1 Chargers at the 4-1 Ravens. Wow, man, this is going to be such a great game. I'll just get the complaint out of the way. Why in the world is Greg Gumbel commentating this game? On all seriousness, I kind of like Gumbel as a commentator. I don't think he's bad, but he screws up in so many ways, man. If you guys remember, he was the commentator last year when the Ravens played the Bengals at home, and it was at least 5 straight times where when Jackson went back to pass, he kept calling Jackson Murray, as in Kyler Murray. It was the weirdest thing. He kept calling Jackson Murray, and everyone was so confused. So, like, Murray on the Ravens? What? And then this year, he commentated the Ravens-Lions, and he called Tucker Justin Turner. It's not Justin Turner, it's Justin Tucker. So, again, as a commentator, I don't think he's bad, but he needs to fix the names big time. And why Gumbel, and I think it's, Adam Archuleta who commentates with him. Yeah, I don't get that. I was really hoping that this game would be a Nance and Romo one, but unfortunately it's not. Regardless, this is going to be a really good game. I look forward to this one. First, Herbert-Jackson battle, and I think there could be a lot more of these in the years to come, and perhaps Herbert and Jackson are the future, so I really look forward to this. This is matchup 1. They have not faced each other yet. So, Chargers, red hot right now. Offense, they're just doing whatever they want. They can throw, they can run, they can do play action, they can run screens. They can do whatever they want, and really everything is working. Their offense is in sync. Defense has been up and down, coming off a very rough game to the Browns. Browns' offense is good, but their defense just had a very rough day. Ravens, meanwhile, coming off that unbelievable comeback against the Colts, I can't stop watching that comeback, man. That was unbelievable. Lamar Jackson, clutch. I think that's an understatement. Anyways, Ravens, though. So offense looks great. Defense, man, is really concerning. I know we have injuries, but you got to overcome the injuries to some extent. The defense just has not been that good this year. It really hasn't. It's had its moments, but in general, it has not been good. And I said in the offseason that I thought our run defense got worse, and it did. Judon was just such a big loss to the run defense. He was a good pass rusher, but he was an even better run defender. We don't have a guy who's really setting the edge well. That's what Judon did really well. Oweh, he's been good, don't get me wrong, and he's really flashed, especially in the pass rush, which is great, but he hasn't been great at setting the edge. McPhee doesn't really get in that much, and Houston is used more on passing down, so we don't really have an edge guy who can set the edge, so, because now that we lost Judon, so it's concerning. And, of course, as I've mentioned for a while, Wolf is such an underrated loss. Everyone wants to talk about, J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, Marcus Peters, and all those guys are big losses, don't get me wrong. But Wolf is a loss that's flying under the radar. He is really good at defending the run, getting off blocks, plugging gaps. Again, he doesn't rush the passer well, but I think he's a big loss to our run defense. And, again, he's coming back. It's not like he's out for the year, but his injury is lingering big time, so I'm not sure what percentage of the healthy Derek Wolfe we're going to get when he comes back. But regardless, long story short, Ravens defense not looking great right now. Injuries. Pass rush has looked better the past couple weeks, but the secondary was awful last week, especially Anthony Averett. So Chargers, when it comes to the injuries, Mike Williams did not practice all week. He was listed as questionable. I saw a tweet from someone tonight who's verified, so I assume they're pretty reliable, that Williams is actually expected to play. Despite not practicing all week, Mike Williams is expected to play. I think Williams is another one of those underrated wide receivers. Yes, he can't stay healthy to save his life, but I think he's good. He's pretty good. Very, very physical, great hands, so Mike Williams is going to be a handful. And, of course, they have Keenan Allen, very underrated number 1 wide receiver. So, I'm really worried about the Chargers offense. I think they could have a field day today, or tomorrow, I should say. The Ravens defense, not its best year by any means. We're pretty hurt in the secondary. Of course, I imagine Humphrey will be on Keenan Allen, but Mike Williams, I guess they're going to put Averett on him and maybe Jimmy Smith. But Averett, man, I had so much confidence in him, but last week was just an epic disaster. Like there's no way to overstate it. He was atrocious. Literally, he got beat every single time the ball was thrown. Every single time he got targeted, the ball was complete. And if it wasn't complete, Averett got flagged. It was just awful. But then again, he's been great besides that, so hopefully he can rebound. And then, of course, before I forget, Ravens. So, big headlines for this week. So, no Ben Cleveland, he's on IR. No Sammy Watkins, he's out with a thigh/hamstring injury. But the bigger news, Rashad Bateman. This was expected, but now it's official. Rashad Bateman activated off IR, and he is officially set to make his debut. Remember that guy? One of the best wide receivers in the class? Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to this. And I think with Sammy Watkins being out, Bateman might get quite a bit of snaps. Again, keep your expectations low. Chances are he won't do much, but it's going to be great to see him out in the field, running routes and everything, hopefully making blocks on running plays. So yeah, I really look forward to this. Bateman is active tomorrow. It's official. He's suiting up. He's playing. So can't wait for that. And then another, more news, the Ravens activated Le'Veon Bell off the practice squad, so he's going to play for this game. And we activated, I think, Andre Smith, a tackle for a swing guy. Not sure if Villanueva is playing or not, but it's my understanding that he is. So that's cool. And this is bold, but I actually could see Bell getting a lot of carries in this game. Past couple games, and even the season in general, Ravens' running game has been significantly it's regressed significantly. I was expecting that because of, Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins out, losing all your running backs. I didn't expect it to regress this much. And it's only been a couple games, but it has been struggling. The line has not been great, but I've been watching some film, and part of the issue, believe it or not, is the skill of our running backs. They're just not good. Latavius Murray, Tyson Williams, Devontae Freeman, they're just not going to get it done. They're simply not. I know it's the Ravens' offense. I know their scheme is so supportive for running backs, but I'm not sure these guys are good enough. Tyson Williams, he's very, very young, so I think he could get better down the stretch, but he's clearly not the answer right now. So this is bold, but I actually think Bell is going to get a lot of carries. I think the Ravens are aware that their running game has been struggling. They want to give Bell a big load to see what he can do. So I could see Bell getting a lot of carries tomorrow. Maybe I'm crazy, but I could see that happening. So look forward to that. But guys, in the end, I'm going to have to go with the Chargers. The Ravens, that comeback was so unbelievable, but there were still a lot of things that we did not do well in, such as play defense. And that was the Colts offense, which is not known to be great. Now we're going up against the Chargers offense. I think we're going to have to blitz too much. I think we're going to run too much man coverage, and it's simply not going to work. I think Keenan Allen will have his way. Humphrey, I think he'll win some battles. I think Allen will win some battles, but I think Herbert is going to do a really nice job of reading the defense, and I think that the Chargers are going to come out on top. I think this game will go back and forth. I think the Ravens offense will do pretty well, but I'm going to go with the Chargers here, guys, edging them out. Let's go with the Chargers, 34-28. It's going to be a great game, and I can't wait for it, but I think the Chargers are going to come out on top. All right, next game, guys, we have the 2-3 Vikings at the 3-2 Panthers. So let's see. Vikings underperforming for sure. I think they had a lot of hype going into the season. They have not been very good. Panthers, meanwhile, got off to a great start. They've lost 2 in a row, though. Defense has not been as good. McCaffrey is on IR now. The poor guy. He, too, cannot stay healthy. Sucks with these running backs, man. They're so good, but they just can't stay healthy. Dalvin Cook has been hurt. Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, and so on. So, in Carolina, I think the Panthers are going to get this win. I don't know about the Vikings. They're very up and down, but their defense has a lot of injuries, and it has not been playing very well. Cousins is as inconsistent as it gets. With it being in Carolina, Darnold, has not been great the past couple of weeks, but I still think he's having his best year. I'm going to go with the Panthers here, guys, edging them out 27-24, but I do think it'll be a good game. Next game, guys, this should be interesting. We have the 5-0 Cardinals at the 3-2 Browns. Sounds great, and maybe it will be a great game, but there's a little bit of a catch. So the Cardinals are without their head coach, Cliff Kingsbury. I'm not sure how to say it. And they have a couple other assistant coaches who are out. They tested positive for COVID. So, interestingly, they're going to be out. And I saw a list. There are a ton of questionables for both teams. I mean, such as A.J. Green, J.C. Treader. Nick Chubb has been ruled out with a calf injury, I think. So, no Chubb. That's a big loss for the Browns. So, Hunt will get a lot of carries. But yeah, there's a lot of questionable guys. I think, typically speaking, 80 to 90% of the guys listed as questionable do end up playing, but there is that 10 to 20% that don't. So that's something to keep an eye on. But again, assuming most of the questionable guys play, this should be a great game. Browns, I don't think they're not playing quite as well as had been expected going into the season. Their offense is struggling a little bit. I think Mayfield and Beckham, they still just don't seem to have a great connection going. They've tried, but it simply is not working. So I don't know what's going on. The running game is, of course, unbelievable. Probably the best offensive line in the league. In fact, it is. But their offensive line does have injuries. I mean, J.C. Treader's questionable. Jedrick Wills is questionable. The poor guy, cannot stay healthy. So anyways, I thought I heard that Jarvis Landry, he's been out for a while. He might be back soon. I don't know if he's back this week, but I think when Landry comes back, that offense will do better. Defensively, the Browns have been really inconsistent, but in general, they haven't been great. Cardinals' offense is rolling right now. They just have everything going for them. Kyler Murray is off to a very good start. DeAndre Hopkins as well. So I'm going to go with the Cardinals. I think it'll be a close game. I think it'll be high scoring, but I trust the Cardinals offense more, and I think if I had to pick a team as a come up big once, I would pick the Cardinals. I love that pass rush duo with J.J. Watt and Chandler Jones, and I don't know. I don't really trust the Browns defense. It looks solid on paper, but it has not been executing on the field. So I'm going to go with the Cardinals here, guys. Let's go with the Cardinals 31-28. Should be a very good game. Next game, guys, we have the 3-2 Raiders and the 3-2 Broncos. So both teams, this is an AFC West showdown. 3 straight wins. They had a great start to the year. They were both 3-0. They've both had rough back-to-back games, dropping 2. So now they're both 3-2. So, of course, as I mentioned earlier, Raiders, big news. Jon Gruden, no longer the coach of the Raiders. He resigned this week because emails were leaked that came from him several years ago of having a lot of homophobic or inappropriate language. Apparently he had been directing hate against people and stuff along that nature. So regardless, Gruden is no longer there. I don't know who is the coach. I think they brought up an assistant coach to become the head guy, but Raiders, they're pretty much in shambles now because Gruden was not a great coach, but he was a great offensive mind. So that offense might take a big-time blow without Jon Gruden permanently now. So I think it's going to take some time for the assistant coach to adapt. But Broncos, meanwhile, if I can find this, the Broncos have not been, I don't know. They got to a great start, but then they played the Ravens and got smoked. And then last week, I'm trying to remember who they played, but the Broncos have been struggling lately. Defense, again, got off to a great start, but it has not been very good the past couple weeks. I don't know what their injury situation is. I don't know. I mean, you have Josie Jewell and Bradley Chubb who are battling injuries. I don't know if they're back yet. But their defense needs to kind of get back to the way it was weeks 1 through 3. Offense is ever inconsistent. Teddy Bridgewater's okay, but I don't think he's the real answer. Cortland Sutton, of course, very, very good, but he has some injury issues. Jerry Jeudy is still out with that ankle injury. So Broncos are dealing with a fair amount of injuries. I'm going to go with the Broncos here, though. I think they'll have a nice renaissance game because, the Raiders, no Jon Gruden. I just don't think they're that good, to be honest. Their offense got way worse, and now without Jon Gruden, who knows how good it'll be. And their defense, again, it's got a bit better, but it's still not good. I'm going to go with the Broncos here, guys, edging them out. Again, they play way better at home. I'm going to go with the Broncos. Let's go with Denver, 24-20. Next game, guys, we have the 4-1 Cowboys at the 2-3 Patriots. This is the game that has Nance and Romo. So Cowboys, man, close loss to the Bucs week 1, but they have been rolling since. The offense is in sync. They are clicking on all cylinders. So I don't know. Maybe Dak Prescott is back to his usual self because he has been having a great year. That wide receiver trio with Gallup, Lamb, and Cooper is just elite. However, I think Michael Gallup is hurt. I thought I saw that he was put on IR, so it's my understanding that Michael Gallup is out this game. So Cowboys offense is good, defense is not good at all. I mean, Jalen Smith, their linebacker, the Packers just got him. But looking at film, Jalen Smith has underperformed. Apparently, he was a high draft pick, but he has not been good. So, but regardless, the Cowboys defense is not good at all. It's the big time weakness of that team. Patriots, meanwhile, coming off a nice come from behind win against the Texans last week, that was pretty big. Offense, it's looking up and down. Defense, I just think is really overhyped. I think it's okay. It's not great. And I think the Cowboys are going to get this win. I don't trust the Patriots. I really don't. I don't know. I don't really know why. Maybe I'm biased, but I don't think the Patriots are that good. I really don't. And I would trust the Cowboys. They are hot right now. Really, really hot. I see no reason why that'll change. Prescott seems locked in. I'm going to go with the Cowboys here, guys. Let's go with Dallas, 31-23. Next game, guys, this is our Sunday night football game. We have the 2-3 Seahawks at the 2-3 Steelers. So, Seahawks, obviously, big development this week. Russell Wilson on IR for a long time, so no Russell Wilson. I think it's like a thumb surgery he's having. Regardless, he's out for at least a month. They said possibly 6 to 8 weeks. So, no Russell Wilson for this game. And I know it's only one player, but I don't know. That might kind of tank the Seahawks season. They rely so much on Russell Wilson. Without him, what are they going to do? So I think Geno Smith, remember him? He's the quarterback for the Seahawks now. Yeah, good luck with Geno Smith. So Seattle's defense, too, is just not that good anymore. And yeah, they don't have Russell Wilson. So the Seahawks are just not going to be good without him. Pittsburgh, meanwhile, they're coming off that nice win to the Broncos. Yeah, it was the Broncos who they played last week. They looked great. Their offense actually played well for a change. And that was against a good defense. But yeah, as I mentioned, the Broncos defense, back-to-back rough games. So the Steelers are coming off a very nice win. But I don't know. I think they're good, and I think they're overhated. I still don't think they're that good. Their offense is not good at all. It is coming off a great game, to be fair, but in general, their offense has been trash. And defense is very good, but it's just on the field so much because the Steelers rely so much on it. But they're getting healthier. I think Highsmith is back. Tua isn't back yet. I don't know when he's coming back, but of course Watt is back. So their defense is getting healthier, and I still think when healthy, their defense is the best in the league. It's in Pittsburgh. Steelers are way better at home than they are on the road. In Seattle, again, without Russell Wilson, so I can't see the Seahawks going into Pittsburgh and winning this game. So I think the Steelers will go on a little 2-game winning streak. So I'm going to go with Pittsburgh here, guys. Let's go with Pittsburgh. I think it's going to be lower scoring, 21-17. Next game, guys, this is our last one, our Monday Night Football game. We have the 4-1 Bills at the 3-2 Titans. So Bills clicking right now. Rough week 1, but besides that, they've been really good. Offense is doing really well. Titans, so of course that loss to the Jets, rebounded last week against the Jaguars, but still the Titans are just massively overrated. Their defense is a train wreck. And now they have to play the Bills, so have fun playing the Bills offense. Then again, it is in Tennessee. Titans are much better at home. Buffalo, again, their offense is looking really, really good, and I still, don't sleep on that defense. I gotta bring up the games. Bills going into Kansas City and winning, and I know their offense led the charge, but they did pretty dang well on the Chiefs' offense. They forced at least I think they forced 2 turnovers, actually. And of course, that one pick by Mahomes, that pick 6, it went right through Tyreek Hill's hands. The Bills defender didn't really need to do much, but the Bills defense, I know they had a really rough year last year, but they were decimated with injuries and opt-outs. Pretty much everyone's back now, and that defense is good, man. It really is good. Don't sleep on the Bills' defense. And then offensively, of course, the Bills are explosive. Allen, Diggs, Beasley. I don't think they have John Brown anymore, but they have Emmanuel Sanders. The offensive line is pretty good. And I think Dawson Knox is one of the more underrated tight ends. He's not great, but he's solid, at least as a receiving tight end. I know it's in Tennessee, but I like the Bills here, guys. They're hot right now. Defense and offense are clicking at the same time. Titans, I just don't trust their defense. Their offense is very good, but can it play catch up with the Bills for the whole game? I'm not sure it can. So I'm going to go with the Bills here, guys, edging them out. I think it'll be close, and I think it'll be a fun, high-scoring game, but I'm going to go with the Bills here, 35-28. And guys, that is going to do it for my game mix for week 6 of the 2021 NFL season. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, maybe you should drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. I really appreciate all the subscriptions. And that is it. Peace out. Have a great day. Thank you so much for all the support. Again, I really do appreciate it. And I will see you guys tomorrow after the Ravens game.